Athens Pride Fest and Parade disrupted by a group of men promoting hate.
In videos obtained by Atlanta News First, you can hear the group using homophobic, anti-Semitic, and racist language. Atlanta News First Justin Berger reports from Athens and Clark County tonight, and a warning: you may find some of these images and messages disturbing.
A celebration for Athens' LGBTQ community and allies interrupted. We're not going to broadcast their words, but these men, dressed head to toe in black with red shirts, promoted unapologetic hate toward minority communities.
It feels very targeted. It feels very purposeful.
Carrying a giant swastika flag, they marched through downtown Athens.
They were doing their Nazi salutes and yelling Heil Hitler and all that kind of stuff.
Watkinsville Democrat Eric Gisler was watching the Pride Parade here on Clayton Street. Right at this corner, he snapped these pictures showing the men being blocked by parade organizers with a sign, what they call a hater blocker, reading "Joy is louder than hate."
It really kind of neutralized the situation. I was really proud of the way they handled it.
In a statement, parade organizers say, quote, Athens Pride and Queer Collective unequivocally condemns the individuals displaying Nazi imagery and shouting hateful rhetoric during yesterday's Pride Fest. Their appearance was intended to intimidate, divide, and spread fear, but it failed to overshadow the overwhelming spirit of joy, solidarity, and love that defined our community celebration.
People chose not to engage with these people with this reprehensible ideology. They were there to have a good time, show each other support, and show support for the community, and that's what I saw yesterday.
Organizers say the Athens Clark County Police Department monitored the group and their movements throughout the afternoon. The men eventually left the area without any reported violence.
It is disgusting, it's sick, but it is their right to do that.
Reporting from Athens and Clark County, Justin Berger, Atlanta News First.